Hello to all my people, and if you're watching live, checking us out on YouTube, or listening on your favorite podcast provider, you are most definitely my people. Welcome to another episode of Botched Spots and Share Shots. We apologize for the absence last week, but we're back. I am still your host, a chef by trade and a mark by choice. I am the Will Gray, and joining me tonight, ladies and gentlemen, making his triumphant return to Rivet City Radio and Botched Spots and Share Shots, he is the host of the Hill Truth podcast. He is also the host of Ted Talks Wrestling over on YouTube, or Ted's Wrestling Takes. Ted, I apologize.
TTW, Ted's Takes on Wrestling.
Ted's Takes on Wrestling. I knew it was close, and I was like, this is a shitty time to not have written it down.
No, that's okay.
I had the letters right. You're pretty much the YouTube mastermind now. You dominated the audio podcast game for years, and then you jumped over to YouTube, and now you're just rocking YouTube. Ted, the Hillbilly Hill, how the hell are you? Welcome back.
I'm doing great. I just can't wait to take over Pinterest. That's my next conquest.
That's going to be the next game you take over. The number one podcaster in Antarctica. Now you're the number one YouTuber in Antarctica. Next, Pinterest,
that's right. DIY home decor. That's right. I'm coming for you, baby.
We're gonna kill the Pinterest game. Directly beside Ted on your screen is the co-host of Botched Spots and Share Shots and Nerdy News at 420, NXT on Tap. He is the host of Boyfriend Time and the Wolfpack podcast. It's everybody's favorite Ginger Ninja. It's our boy Jax. Jax, how the hell are you?
I'm doing fantastic tonight. I really am.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to be back at work. Like, it's nice to run an episode. Missing last week was weird, but like to get the gang back together, we were all busy this week for separate reasons. So like to get together and have Ted here with us is like, cool. Hell yeah. So it's good to see you, Bo. Glad you're here. But it wouldn't be Botched Spots and Share Shots without her. Ladies and gentlemen, perched upon the Iron Throne in the boss bitch's corner. She is the Beyonce to my Hova, the Bonnie to my Clyde. She is the brains behind Rivet City Radio. She's the boss bitch, Al. Al, how's your Sunday?
It's going pretty good. Pretty good.
Fantastic. A few things before we get going into the episode. I want to give a shout out to Jaylan on the Beats _Hill Tactics on Twitter. If you like our intro, you like the intro for Nerdy News at 420 or Smacking It Raw or Getting Off or She Elite Showcase, all of these amazing shows here and on YouTube, check him out. He's the guy on Twitch to make that happen, or Twitter to make that happen. I'm going to appease the algorithmic gods. Then we're going to get into Pissed Off for Greatness. First, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave a comment telling us how great we are, how terrible we sound. No matter what, it helps the algorithm. If you're on Twitch, it's also free to subscribe. Hit that button. We'll talk about your Prime Gaming subscription later. Hello to X. We're trying something out. We're broadcasting live on Twitter tonight. It's kind of an echo chamber in a lot of ways, but I have the opportunity to broadcast live there, so why the hell not? And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, today, as it sits on May 12th, while we were recording, we were your number 66th ranked Apple podcast in the wrestling category. So thanks for that. Leave a comment, do all the things. Ted, Al, Bo, you guys have done this. You've all heard the show. You've been on the show. Here's the question of the week for you. Let's get it going. What has you guys pissed off for greatness this week? What has you guys the most worked up in pro wrestling? Good, bad, or indifferent?
I can go first.
You're going to go first?
This is actually what I had for last week, so it is a little bit dated of news, but it still hits. So last week, NXT did a lot of releases. They did 9 total releases. Of those 9, 10 if you count Dijak. Or not Dijak. Gulak. Not Dijak, Gulak. So half of the people they released were the people that were on that WWE Next Gen show on Roku. Like, here's my thing. If you're going to make your tryouts Division I athletes only, people that have zero experience wrestling, so you can, do whatever it is you think you're going to do to them. Like, keep them if you're going to do a show about them. Like, you had a show and then you just cut them off. I don't understand. Like, were these people just picked because they had Instagram followings and whatever the case is? They only kept two. The only people I've seen that were actually kept were two people. One girl whose name is like Xena or something on it, the NXT roster. She hadn't done anything yet. And then BJ Ray, who is
pretty much universally hated as being just an all-around just
douche.
Yeah.
He was a former wrestler at Duke University. He got kept. He was actually in a promo with someone whose name escapes me last week. Or this week. It was this week. But like, if you're gonna do a show, like, keep the fucking people you choose. Like, you just quietly release them because clearly the bulk of them were for their stories. Like, one of the guys they released, like, grew up in, like, a really, like, bad situation. So, like, his story made for good TV. So, that was really long-winded, and I didn't mean it to be, but
I think the gist of what you're saying, though, is that WWE, if they're going to bring in people who don't have an independent wrestling or pro wrestling background, they need to give them a little bit longer than 6 months to be TV ready, maybe?
Maybe.
Just
or
maybe?
Don't just have people on for a show and then quietly cut them. Like, if you're going to do the show, fucking do the show. And, like, make people that I want to watch. That's all.
Fair. Bo, Ted, did y'all watch the Next in Line show or whatever it was?
Nope.
No, but it sounds to me like if they're going to cut them, they need to do it loud, like American Idol. Just go ahead and get rid of them. They bring them in. They know they're going to cut them. Just go ahead and do it and let them cry as they go home and just make a big reality show out of it.
So instead of the Next Level program, Ted, what you're saying is they need to do the next WWE superstar and have like a panel of wrestlers like judging them on how well they bump and stuff. And then it's like, fuck you, go home. Like,
let's go to the roots of NXT. Let's do Tough Enough.
Dude, I would love to watch a new version of Tough Enough with some independent stars mixed with some like pro athletes, watching them do like the physical what are they fucking called? The competitions. Jesus, it slipped my mind. The physical comps and stuff, and then watching them learn to wrestle. Like, come on. I think Tough Enough would get over as fuck in 2024.
Or what was that one show they used to have, Pros versus Joes?
Yes.
Good idea.
That's along the lines. You could start getting into the idea of like amateur versus pro boxers and stuff, where it's like YouTube. What's the show where they do it? Where it's Rough and Rowdy. It's a Barstool Sports thing where they get just regular ass people off the street who's got heat with each other, and they'll just go in there and just box till somebody gets knocked out. Like, we could totally do like a Rough and Rowdy where it's like somebody gets mouthy with Seth Rollins, and you slap some 16-ounce gloves on each hand and just let you beat the shit out of each other. Like, I'd watch that. Hell yeah. So ditch the Next in Line Level Up program or whatever the TV show is called and just give us Tough Enough back, and then let us box pro wrestlers. Why the fuck not? Bo, Ted, y'all got something for me? Oh, like Tough Enough.
The fact that I have to this soon get Bianca versus Jade.
You think they're going to go with that, with the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring stuff already?
Oh, yeah.
That seems way too early for me, man. You think they're going to give it to us in 2 weeks?
Huh?
You think they're going to give it to us in 2 weeks? Because next week there'll be the next round. The week after that will be the semifinals, then the pay-per-view, right? So, like, in the next 10 days, you think that'll be the culmination of that tag team, why they still hold the tag belts?
Yeah, it'll be a friendly competition.
Scout says that Tiff will beat Bianca. I actually think Bianca is going to get eliminated before she crosses paths with Jade, says Ty. I would be upset. I think it's way too soon to break that tag team up, though. I can definitely agree with you on that one. I 1000% think that shouldn't happen before WrestleMania 41.
I don't think they're going to break them up. I just think it'll be a friendly competition, like a classic Ring of Honor match where they shake hands, they beat the shit out of each other, makes them a better tag team in the long run.
I would be okay with that if they could figure out a way to make it make sense. But I think I'm leaning more towards the side of Scals and Ty, though, with the idea that I think more than likely it'll be Bianca losing to Tiffany before Jade takes her out, because I see Jade going to the main event because they want her in Saudi.
Tiffany beats Bianca, I'm boycotting the WWE.
It'll be interesting to see like both Tiffany, how they do Jade and Tiffany in Saudi, because their characters are both so sexual, like their presence, and they won't be able to do that in Saudi. You know what I mean?
Actually, I thought about that too, Allison. And I'm looking forward to Jade's, if she goes to Saudi, like she'll be there. I'm looking forward to Jade's gear because she's always cosplaying as something.
She'll be a full-blown fucking Storm from X-Men with the white, head-to-toe white with the big cape and everything, with the white hair. Like, I see her going full-blown Storm from X-Men if she goes over there for sure. Matt says hello to all of us using government names and such. Hello, Mateo from Smacking It Raw. We love you. We miss you. It's good to see you, sir. Ted, that brings us to you, man. What you got for me?
I can't believe that Magnum TA turned on Mr. Wrestling #2. He was a great mentor to him, just trying to teach him, and then he dissolved. Oh, no, wait a minute. That was 1984. This is 2024. I'm sorry, guys.
I was going to sell it and just play into it, bro. I was like, okay, so he's in Mid-South in the 80s? I was like, what was he watching?
But what that brings me into is Mr. Wrestling #2 doesn't get the credit he deserves, because in '84, that was the biggest heel turn of that generation until you got to Barry Windham doing it on Luger and becoming part of the Horsemen. Wrestling #2 was the favorite wrestler of President Jimmy Carter. They tried to, Jimmy Carter wanted him to go to the White House. He met with Secret Service. They wanted him to take his mask off, give him his government name. He refused to go to the White House and take his mask off to keep kayfabe. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And no disrespect, I love some of the luchadors. I love them. Okay, I love them. But I want somebody like in the 80s, like a Wrestling 2, like the Grappler, like the Masked Assassin, like the Masked Superstar. I want some just big old trucker guy with a mask on, or even someone, and not just for one match. We've had it for one match. I want somebody to do a whole storyline like Dusty did with the Midnight Rider, where we know the voice. You've gotten suspended. You know, Hogan did it. They come back in the mask. We know who it is, but they just pretend they're not. I want a storyline with that. I want a masked wrestler, just some big old trucker dude in a mask that when the JD Drake, bring JD Drake with a mask on, okay, out of Ring of Honor, AEW, let him put a mask on. That's what I want.
I can get behind that. I'll see if I can do this as PC as possible, because some of the people listening know which promotions I work with on the independents and stuff. So I don't want to give too much out to pull the curtain back. We're working with a person who has a masked wrestler gimmick that's coming out because he's suspended. So he's going to be wrestling under a mask as a new character while he's suspended. And that's how it's all going to, it's going to be such a cool fucking story. But I appreciate that, because we love, the collective we, is in me and a couple of the guys there, love that especially late 80s WCW feel, that the end of the territory, some of that deep rooted good Southern wrestling with a capital R. You know what I mean? Ted, I'm not gonna dox you too bad, but North Carolina, it's the heart of the Jim Crockett Promotions, man.
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely.
right up your alley. So I can get behind that. Plus, I'm in the process right now. I'm finalizing my plans this week. I'm rolling a new TikTok series out where I get old storylines over in 2024. So I'm going to like millennialize the stories from the 80s and 70s. And the first one I'm doing is Lawler and Coffin. And I'm going to get it over with wrestling fans in 2024. So I'm going to pick your brain, get some ideas from you as far as what I can use for that series, because that's right up your alley. And we need to do that show with BC where we continue the stories with long-term storytelling.
Yes.
Chat's going crazy. Thank you. We'll make sure you hit your DMs with wow, okay. Ty and Hex and Bridget and Shadow and everybody's here. The chat is a living, breathing entity tonight. We have nothing to do with them. We can't take responsibility for what's happening in that chat.
Shadow's here.
Shadow's here. I said Shadow was here, didn't I?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shadow's here. I thought I said Shadow.
Maybe you didn't. I just blocked you out.
Shadow says wrestling sucks, and I could definitely agree with that. Sometimes wrestling can be a little yucky. Mine has that. It's not always, and Ted, I wrote down in my notes, reference Ted, because social medias in a lot of way have started to become these really massive echo chambers where it's like the same people liking and the same people retweeting. And then it's kind of all of the love and support stops there. People aren't coming to live shows to help each other out. People aren't listening to live shows once we put stuff out. And it's just some certain social medias, I'm not going to call anybody out by name, but it feels like a lot of social medias have become these echo chambers where people will like and retweet stuff or like your post or share a post, but then nobody comes through with the actual support of showing love the day of. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like the internet has become one big echo chamber. And those of you that are here listening with us tonight, we love you guys, every single one. AJ has a pissed off for greatness are the way male fans have been interacting with female wrestlers at shows. Did either of you guys see what happened with Sky Blue at the AEW show on Wednesday night? That was pretty yucky and pretty gross, so I can definitely agree with that. A fan got escorted out of the building because he was saying some really like out-of-pocket shit to Sky Blue during a match. He just busted in here like he owns the place.
I heard that.
So yeah, that's it. Pissed off for greatness is done. Stop calling STDs. God, you guys, I'm gonna stop reading the chat too now. Like, I'll just put it up, let you guys do your thing. Next, just knocking out the business. Match of the week. Ted, I want you to go first because I'm curious. I think you and I might have the same match of the week this week. Is that okay? Are you ready to roll?
Yeah, what y'all got? I'm sorry, I blanked out there.
No. What I'm saying is I think you and I might have the same one. So I'm asking if you're ready, do you want to go first? I want to see if you and I have the same match of the week.
Go ahead. You go first.
Okay. Mine was Dax Harwood versus Dynamite Kid from last night at Collision. That was a good old school match. Lots of history with, Dax and Cash's relationship with Brett going back to the dungeon and Dynamite Kid and all of that. Now his son's there. So there's a lot of like history there. Plus the playback to the territories, like what you and I were just talking about, Ted. There was a lot of cool history there. Plus it was a good hard fought match from beginning to end. So I'm going to give it to Dax and Dynamite Kid, the old Billington Kid, coming in and blowing the roof off of Collision. So yeah, that's my pick. Now somebody else has to go. I'm out of the way.
All right. I'm going AJ Styles and Orton. I really enjoyed that match.
Great match.
Like, I was hoping that Styles would have pulled it off so I could have seen Carmelo and AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they can put on a banger. But Orton is a solid pick. I don't foresee him winning. But no, just the way they worked each other. Every time Styles go for the the phenomenal forearm. He fucking Orton come up out of nowhere. I mean, it was just a all around good match.
I can definitely agree with that. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, when they put that on there, we were watching that match together, didn't we? Didn't I say while we were watching it, I was like, this could have been the main event of a pay-per-view. Like, if you had told me either one of those guys were the champion and they were challenging the other person, I would have believed it. So, good pick. That means it's Ted or Al. You guys got to go. Somebody's got to do it.
I'm gonna pick Piper versus Jade. When they announced the match, I knew Piper was gonna lose, and I hate that so much because she's so amazing. But that was a good match. Like, two strong women, like, beating the shit out of each other. Like, it's good. That's all.
No, I loved that match.
Okay.
I also thought it was a good match. That's you, Ted. Bring us home.
I almost went with Dax and Billington. That was a great match. I loved it. But then even the main event of Collision, Copeland and Kyle O'Reilly, I love that. But if we want to go for the whole week and I go back to last week's Dynamite, I'm going Copeland and Brody King.
Also,
that was just, you know, when Brody, the blood is just pouring and he's looking up and laughing and he's just, that was good. I just really liked that one. And the Copester just seems like he's having fun.
I could definitely agree with that.
Even though he's getting ready to go to his dark place, he still acts like he's having fun getting there.
One of the things I've seen a lot of people reference in the AEW locker room on this side of the melodrama that was Phil and the Young Bucks and Tony Khan and all of that nonsense. You know what I mean? What I've noticed now, having Adam Copeland in that locker room, is that everybody talks about how much fun he is to work with, how excited he is to come to work every day. Like, all he wants to do is help people. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he seems to be enjoying it. He's not there. He said he's not there for the money. He's there to enjoy work and to help young wrestlers and to have fun again. And it seems like he's doing that 1,000%. Going all the way back to that Dynamite. That was a great episode. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened that week that was real good.
Don't click on any of those comments.
Yeah, as I was reading them, I was like, wow, okay. Not there for the money. Sure.
But now,
Yeah.
I'll send you a text next week, but I will probably, even if it ain't happened yet, Dax Harwood and Okada is going to be up there for a match of the week.
I said on Friday Night Review that inside 30 days, we would see both companies with a 5-star match on free TV. I said he was going to do it for WWE because he's upping the ante and kind of hyping those, like, he's leaning back into the WWE side of things now. And I was like, because he gave a 5-star match to one of the guys at the Backlash match, or the Backlash pay-per-view. And then I was like, he's definitely going to give a 5-star match to a free TV match, like, very soon. I don't think Taekwon is a real person. I think an overwhelming amount of negativity. He's just a really negative bot. He's not even a real person.
We love to hate Ty.
That's just exactly right. We love Ty. We hate Ty. It's all just kind of there. He's just he's. If you know more of our friends, like, Ty really fits into our friend circle kind of well. He's just a vulgar ass kid who likes to draw, like, at the core of it. So I'm here for it. You guys know what time it is. Ted, I know you watch us a lot on the replays on YouTubes and stuff. It's time for Ryback and Ronda, guys.
We're gonna start with Ronda this week because I have a little more from Ryback. So Ronda apparently, let me share my screen here.
No pressure.
So Ronda thinks that she's a screenwriter because Netflix wants to turn her book into a series or a film based on her memoirs. I definitely not watching that. What do you guys think? Will y'all watch Rhonda's book turned into a movie? I guess it's going to be a dramatized version of her story.
I can guarantee you 100% chance that when the trailer drops for that movie, I'm going to watch it twice in 1 week because I'm going to make Bridget and Bo watch it on Nerdy News. You're muted, Bo.
I'm gonna watch it when I can't fall asleep.
It's going to be your falling asleep movie.
Yeah, like it'll be like my melatonin. I'll just put it on and fall asleep.
When y'all see my name in the producer credits, I don't want to hear shit. I know, and it's probably going to be in, you know, you're going to do great things, but you'll be vulgar about it all the way, Ty. And we love you for that. AJ says under 50% chance I'm watching that.
Is it going on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, no. If it's on Hallmark, I will watch it. But I don't watch Netflix. Only Hallmark for me, guys.
Are you a Hallmark guy, Ted?
My wife makes me. Yes. I'm a Hallmark guy.
What's funny about that, my dad makes my mom watch the Hallmark Channel. Like, I have never, like, growing up my whole life, I've never met another Jewish man that loves Christmas movies as much as my father does. Which is funny because, like, he grew up Orthodox and, like, he didn't start doing Christmas until he met my mom. And so, but this man loves Christmas movies. He loves, like, collecting little Santas. So no matter what month it is, my dad is watching those fucking Hallmark Christmas movies. He records them so that he can watch them. And every Friday, the Hallmark Channel plays Christmas movies.
Yes.
So,
Year round.
yes.
I'll pull the curtain back a little bit and out my buddy here, one of my closest friends and confidants on the planet, my buddy Jaxbo right here. I'm going to out him because he watches A Christmas Story on repeat for 24 consecutive hours leading up to Christmas.
That is 1 day a year. I don't go around watching every day of the year. My mom does that. That's my mom right there. She watch Christmas movies 365 days if she could.
My mom watches the Hallmark Channel 17 hours a day, 7 days a week during baseball season because she watches the Phillies game during baseball off season. It's 24/7. That's awesome. Hallmark, man. Apparently that's the channel. But none of us are going to watch Ronda Drowsy, right?
No.
Christmas Story is a must 24-hour watch during the holidays. I'm not arguing with it. I just thought it would be funny.
You know, out of all, like, the Christmas movies, I will say that, like, Christmas Story is, like, towards the bottom of my list.
Yeah, you know why it's towards the bottom? Because it has to hold all the other Christmas movies on its back.
Oh, that was beautiful, Bo. Well said. My melanin can't contribute to the Hallmark conversation. Again, we still love you, Ty. So Ryback.
Play the video first.
All I have is a video. I don't have anything else.
Yes, because I'm going to show the other thing.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't have anything else. You guys ready for this? Awesome. Make sure the volume's not all the way up so I don't blast your eardrums out.
Yo, I'm the big guy, Ryback. So here's the deal, Rybackers. I used to get millions and millions of views every week
No,
on my
not
post.
millions.
And if you take a look at my
Ted, are you a
account,
Rybacker?
I'm not getting hardly any views. Not showing up on the For Your page. And
For your page.
I've been losing followers for over 6 months. I'm live every single day for 4 hours, give or take. And I post every single day consistently for years. I've got a manager
Years.
Years.
campaign,
Years,
who's
guys.
not been able to help. She doesn't reply back for weeks at a time. And
Can we
I've
talk
been
about
losing
this
followers for
gnarly
6 months.
sunburn
I
across
went
his
from being
forehead?
viral all the time to
I was
not
about to
being
comment on how
viral.
nice his
Not even
kitchen
giving-
looks.
I've got posts with 1,000.
He's got a nice looking kitchen.
views now. So if you guys see this, please like, share.
I'm bored with him. I'm done. Nope.
Yeah, I'm bored.
That's it. I'm done.
So he's back on the by being suppressed game. Hang on, I gotta set up my thing here. He's also like, continuing to double down on Elon Musk tweeting him, where's my things? And like, what's funny, like, trying to include more people. He quote tweeted Elon.
He also quote tweeted somebody named Dick Flair, apparently.
Yeah.
Surprise, Ryback is being suppressed again.
Here's my thing, and I honestly, like, I started commenting this for a while because the man clearly doesn't understand how algorithms work, and that's really his problem. Like, I keep commenting and I say, use hashtags and it'll solve your problem. And he still doesn't. So,
What do you know? It's not like you're a PR marketing manager in real life, helping companies, expand their brands. What the fuck do you know, new kid? You're just a mark with a mic.
Right. But no. Ryback, if you're listening, because we know you search for yourself on the internet, use hashtags.
Hello, Tommy. Thanks for listening.
On TikTok, he stopped hashtagging the For You page. So, like, in honesty, like, I think, like, this whole, like, help, I'm being suppressed thing might be a work. Because, like, bro, you got to hashtag that For You page. Just saying.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of a everybody knows thing. Before we jump into news and rumors, I want to say thank you to Matt and Mike, both who resubbed tonight using their Amazon Prime subscriptions. Thank you both. We love you for that. Al, let's chat some news and rumors before we get into our favorite B-List pay-per-views.
All right. So this was something that, again, we were going to bring up last week, but we didn't. Apparently, Ric Flair had a heart attack during his last match, and he had no idea. He went in for a routine, just like heart checkup, and they're like, "Hey, bro, why didn't you tell us about this heart attack you've had in the last 2 years?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" So we apparently, Will and I, saw Ric Flair have a heart attack live.
I just want him to stop wrestling before he dies. Go ahead, Bo. I'm sorry.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, how many times could you say you got to witness Ric Flair have a heart attack?
To be fair.
Well, he almost like, because if I remember the match, he was faking like he was having some chest pain, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he also says he passed out 3 times.
Right. So this is the definition of a work becoming a shoot.
Fair. Maybe he wasn't pretending to have the chest pains. Maybe they were.
Or maybe it was a shoot becoming a work. I can't remember which is which, but
right.
Either way, we watched Ric Flair have a heart attack and almost die in the ring 3 different times that night. And I'm the king. I say it a lot. The king of separating the art from the person. I know he's done some really yucky things in real life. I'm not supporting those, but for what he's done in the business, I've used this analogy a lot in the past. Your, oh shit, he's the greatest of all time meter is only so high before the other bullshit you did in your career starts to stack up alongside of it. You know what I mean? Like we say that a lot with Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho, Ric Flair. Like people had started to say it about Scott Hall, God rest his soul. But you guys see my point. Like I hope Flair taps out before he's tapped out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit more about Ric Flair. Apparently, there was an incident at Paisanos where he got a little.
Just say he got shit wrecked and made a fool of himself.
Yeah, but so during an interview with Tampa radio station Q105, no free shout out, Ric Flair said he was wrong for losing his temper during his family visit to Paisanos last week. He also denied being intoxicated, saying he only drank Michelob Ultras and probably 2 mixed drinks.
So that's the same as drinking water all night, anyways. And I don't drink, and I know that. Mick Ultra is hardly beer. I mean, he got cut off and lost it. That's what when I saw the videos and some of the reports, that's what I heard too, Mike, was that he had gotten cut off and he went to the bar to find out why he was cut off, and that's where the scene progressed from there. Bo, Ted, have either of you ever been so drunk in public that you got cut off?
Yes.
Ted's
Multiple.
not sure if I want to answer that or not.
Actually, no. I'm pretty much a functional alcoholic and can hide it at all times.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That works. Yeah, I've been in my fair share. I was one of those lucky college kids that spent more than one night in the drunk tank but never actually got booked. So I was one of those kids. I was lucky in that sense.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you a quick story about a drunk tank?
Absolutely, Ted.
Okay, so long story short, I had a fake ID when I was 19, 20. This was an actual license that I'd gotten from another guy who was over 21. He gave me a social security card and birth certificate. I went and said I lost my license. So it was a legit driver's license.
Holy shit.
And yeah, it was good. And I went and seen
felony on air.
Yeah, I know. I think the statute of limitations are up, but because I'm pretty old, and went to one of the many KISS retirement tours that they had back in the late 80s, early 90s. They were going to retire, and I was in the pit, and this guy, I knew him, and he just kept on bothering me, and I'd been drinking, and I just told him, if you keep on, I'm going to clothesline you. And I clotheslined him right in the pit. So they took me to jail, but when I give them my wallet, they saw the fake ID on top, so that's what they booked. That's what they booked me as.
You lucky son of a bitch.
So I don't have a record in Johnson City, Tennessee, but somebody else does.
Wow. Holy shit. There's like wanted signs. You're the most wanted dude in Johnson City from like 30 years ago, but nobody remembers why. Like they still get outstanding warrants as fuck. Like
That's hilarious.
God, that's awesome, Ted. You're a rock star.
That's amazing.
Rock star.
After his WWE release, Jinder Mahal filed trademarks for the Maharaja and the name Raj. I can't say it. Dhesi Desi.
Okay.
The belief is the latter is likely his new ring name. What do y'all think? Where do you think we're gonna see him end up?
The modern day Maharaja. Where's he gonna land?
Yeah.
Bo, where do you think he's gonna go? If you were a betting man.
Baby.
TNA?
TNA. That's the only place you should go.
Okay. Ted?
Yeah, why not? TNA, let's go.
I want him to rock through the indies first, to be honest. I would love to see him in GCW just to see if there's some meat on those bones, and let him go head to head with like Manders or like Mance Warner or somebody. Like let him get in there and like put some boots on the ground and let him see to go to town. But I also agree. Mike says NWA or TNA. I would be on the leaning side to say TNA probably can't afford Jinder Mahal right now. I know but they are doing those tour-based things where they're booking people for dates and only paying them for those dates, and then they're off to do whatever the fuck they want to or whatever. So that's cool too. Tech support. Yeah, everybody seems to think. I think TNA or AEW would probably be where he'll end up. I hope he does some independent dates between now and then, though, for sure.
No, agree. Fightful says Scripps will be departing WWE on June 1st when his contract expires. The company chose not to sign him to a new deal.
Who?
Scripps, Reggie.
Reggie.
Oh,
Remember
Reggie.
the dude who used to run and jump and he would do the flips into the ring? You remember Reggie?
Oh, Reg. Yeah, he wore that stupid mask.
Yeah, Scripps. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. What's he been doing?
nothing.
Wasting time. Sitting
Yeah.
at the watering hole.
Yeah, he's at catering every week.
Smack him on the butt and wish him luck. He can flip at the circus.
Best of your future endeavors.
Like, I could seriously, this is no joke. Like, someone like Scripps, if wrestling doesn't work out for him, Cirque du Soleil, he'd do great there.
He would. Yes, Courtney, you are right. That is one, the Hillbilly Hill Ted. He's in the group OTM. Scouse, you should know that, Bo. He's in the NXT stuff with you.
Oh, that's that. I don't like that group. That's why.
Yeah, that's where he is originally from, Jax. Oh, okay.
Is it? Well, good.
Future
Go back
endeavors,
there.
man. Hope the best for Scripps and Reggie, but at the same time, it's like I don't know the last time I watched him work a match. So good luck, sir.
A trademark was filed recently for Maple Leaf Wrestling. The address listed on the application matches the one former TNA president, Scott D'Amore, that he uses for his Border City wrestling promotion. PW Insider and others speculate it's related to his next pro wrestling venture. Following that rumor, TNA president Scott D'Amore to Maple Leaf Wrestling, PW Insider notes that Maple Leaf Wrestling has now filed for a trademark on the term Grand Prix Wrestling.
Okay, so ultimately Scott, post TNA, has filed for a bunch of trademarks under a dummy core for one of his wrestling promotions in Canada then. Is that what that sounds like ultimately?
Yeah.
I really, really wish somebody would put him to work in a creative team, either in WWE or in TNA. Happy Mother's Day. Hi. Happy Mother's Day. Tell her I said it, Jax.
Mother's Day.
Thank you.
She said thank you.
Mama Bo. She brought you dinner?
Burger King.
I love Burger King.
So yeah, what do you guys think about Scott D'Amore starting a new promotion or tentatively starting a new promotion? And do you think he should be on somebody else's payroll? Thank you. That is another sub just came in, by the way. Anonymous, thank you for subbing and sending gifts out. Happy Mother's Day, Mama Bo. Scott D'Amore, yay or nay? Independence, or should he be working for somebody with a bigger payroll?
He needs to be working someone with some ass behind him.
Fair.
Like, just someone to let Scott D'Amore get right on the edge of penetration and just have someone else smack him in.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because that's like, he's good creatively. Do I think he could he pull off his own promotion? Yes. Will it be successful outside of Canada? Probably not.
Fair. Ted, what do you think about Mr. D'Amore getting into the wrestling game?
I think, yeah, I would love to see him go, somewhere big again and do something. But if he is going to start his own thing, I'm going to go ahead and start a rumor that I heard that the backer behind this is all really a front for Freddie Prinze Jr.'s promotion that he's wanting to start, and him and Scott D'Amore are getting together.
1,000%. Yeah, 100%. I would be okay if Scott D'Amore was the wrestling mind booking Freddie Prinze Jr.'s creative. Like, absolutely, sir. Like, absolutely, I would get behind that.
So take that, Sean Ross Sapp. You heard it here first.
Eat it. No, we're just kidding. We love Fightful here at Rivet City Radio.
Yeah, no crap, just Sapp.
More trademark stuff. WWE filed trademarks on the names Shiloh Hill, Layla Diggs, and Jasper Troy.
Jasper sounds like he would join Briggs and Stratton.
Brooks and Dunn, you mean?
Brooks and Dunn. SRS blocked Ty. So there's that. Sweet. And also, where did it go? Ted is a friend of Court's. Ted is also one of my oldest podcasting friends I have. He's been around since day one of Botched Spots and Cheer Shots, really. One of our first guests when we opened the guest floodgates many moons ago.
PW Insider says the QR codes that have been popping up on WWE television lately are leading to a new faction that will consist of Bo Dallas, Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, and Nikki Cross. I think that lineup sounds pretty good. What do you think? Who's going to be in Bo Dallas's group?
The Wyatt Six.
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know.
I like Bo. I like Dexter. I like Alexa.
I like Dexter.
Did you not say it, Alexa?
Nikki.
I like Nikki in that position, especially if she keeps playing this crazy version of Nikki. Scowls doesn't think Cross and Loomis belong there. We
Loomis
predicted
is good there.
I do like Loomis there. We reported Eric Rowan going back to WWE, and I immediately asked if it was going to be because of the Wyatt Six stuff, and we all agreed. So that's an automatic fit there. Can you guys think of any sleepers maybe that could be involved, or as fans think would be a good fit for that group? Braun and Alexa says Scowls. Good picks. The Boogeyman. That would be a fantastic pick. Gacy, I'm assuming C and V are right next to each other. So Joe Gacy would be a fantastic pick. Yep, I was right.
Spears could be good if like crazy wise, because he plays a good crazy.
Sean Spears in the same vein that Randy Orton was in Sean Spears. Same way Randy Orton was in the Wyatt family. That'd be a good fit. I could see that. Cool.
Yeah. Ringside News is reporting, for whatever that's worth, that Rhea's Mania 39 victory and run were due to you wrote this weird. That Rhea got punished for her and Charlotte going over 20 minutes, and WWE wasn't happy about them taking the time from the Roman and Cody match, who were set for over a 60-minute match and ended up only getting 45. Apparently, Rhea's lackluster title reign and minimal defenses were because of that she was being punished, which I have been stating ever since, like, Rhea's entire run, that like it just seems like they're, for her being the belt holder, that she wasn't getting a lot of match time. She was basically like a glorified manager for the Judgment Day. Scowls Ringside News reported it. So loosely just, speculation.
What that sounds to me is somebody said the same thing we did. They looked at it and said, okay. And we reported that it was speculation, Scowls. We're not reporting shit from Ringside News. We said it. Read the opening line of what you said.
Ringside News is reporting, for whatever that's worth. It's what they have stated. It's an article that they put out. I'm just curious about if anybody thinks that it's true or not. I'm not saying that it is fact. I'm just saying that this is what is being said.
Ronda also wrote about it in her book, which I was going to reference. Nothing they ever say is true. Agreed. But if we would have been able to get there before you started going about us reporting shit from Ringside News versus letting me get there, I was going to bring up the Ronda quote from her book, where she also referenced the fact that WWE has punished people because they had ran over on times. So I was going to reference the fact that, they might suck at reporting. There might be a little bit of truth behind it, though, because other people had reported being punished for throwing off their times. So I was getting there.
Rousey does suck. But
yeah. So really, what this is the second curtain call, because Charlotte being the veteran made the call to let the match go over the run, and then they weren't going to punish Charlotte
because she was already taking time off anyways.
Right. So they punished Rhea just like they didn't punish Shawn because Scott and Kevin had left, so Triple H didn't get to win King of the Ring, which is getting ready to come up on the next PLE.
Yep.
See,
What's up,
got to tie it all
Dad?
together. Tie it
Look,
all
see,
together.
long-term storytelling. Ted's got that shit figured out. Al?
Regarding WWE not renewing Jerry Lawler's talent contract, a source told PW Insider that Lawler's exit is proof that the old company is dead. If Vince McMahon still ran WWE, the source says certain people such as Lawler would have been taken care of. I mean, I've said this before. I feel like the Legends contract was just Vince throwing a bone to guys like Ric Flair and Jerry, who he wanted to make sure still had income coming in because he felt like he owed them. Which, I mean, you could think of it kind of like a pension. I don't necessarily think it's wrong to give them like a pension situation, but like I get it.
Fair. I think Jerry Lawler is 100% going to end up calling at least one match in AEW with Jim Ross. I would almost put money on that fact that he will end up in AEW and he will have at least one call where he calls a match. At least one. I definitely don't think Jim Ross isn't even calling whole pay-per-views. So I don't think I'm not going to say that, but I will say at least one match will get Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler in AEW together.
Yeah.
100%, 1,000%.
I don't know. He said he's done. I mean, he did have another, he did have that big stroke. So, I mean, he might just be done.
Him and good old JR retiring together, do one more match, and then they just ride off into the sunset. Bo, you're an Attitude Era fan, my man. What would you think about hearing JR and, Jerry Lawler on one match?
Jerry Lawler would never fly on today's TV.
Listen to some of that Attitude Era shit, man. You're not
You
wrong.
listen to some of that shit, like, just go back one day. Don't watch the match. Just listen to Jerry Lawler's commentary on anything Attitude Era when a female wrestler walks out. Yeah, I don't think he's ever getting picked. Like, even the stuff he did in the 2000s. Like, geez.
Well, the good thing about it is right now AEW still hasn't done any better, and you're only going to get one match on a Dynamite and maybe two on a pay-per-view, so he probably won't even see a woman.
Facts.
Sources tell WrestleVotes that Solo Sikoa's post-WrestleMania aggressive streak is designed to establish him as the main force in the bloodline before Jacob Fatu debuts. As WWE creative is somewhat afraid that Fatu's presence could outshine Solo at this stage. I mean, it's because Solo doesn't speak ever, and they haven't done a ton with Solo, like singles match wise. Like, they haven't really built up Solo this whole time. He's kind of just been like part of the bloodline.
He's been the muscle of the bloodline. And let me ask you guys a more important question of this, because we're going to talk about the Queen and King of the Ring here in a minute. But do you think house shows are canon? Because if you look at what was happening, and I know the IWC screams about the fact that Solo is 1-31 or whatever it is, because he's been on this terrible losing streak on house shows. Are house shows canon to where we should believe that he's this big, strong, empowering leader of the bloodline if he's just flipping L's every weekend on house shows? What do you guys think about it? Again, Ted, you and I share a love for the old territory days where house shows meant a lot, because there was only one night a week of TV. You know what I mean? We weren't getting multiple stories. Do you guys think that Solo eating these L's make him a less believable leader of the bloodline, even though house shows aren't canon?
House shows have to be canon nowadays. They're doing tournament matches on it.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm going to bring that up when we get there. But yeah, I mean, is Solo convincing as a leader if he's eating all these L's, though?
Well, it looks like he's cosplaying as the Godfather. God, it's like, I feel that the Gorillas of Destiny are more powerhouse threats than Solo Sikoa.
Tama looks like $1 million, dude.
I didn't know Solo owned shoes.
Either. Now he's wearing gloves and he's got to take it off to spike the guy. It's ridiculous. I am on the train of I don't see where Jacob fits in.
Do you think maybe Jacob will go to the other side?
I don't see where Jacob fits in all in WWE as a whole. I just don't see him being cut from that cloth.
How much of the WWE identity crisis is he going to have to go through to be WWE TV ready? Is what I'm scared
because
of.
he's very rough around the edges. Don't give a shit. Like says it on his mind. The gimmick he carries on the indies and in real life, I just don't see Jacob being viable in the WWE as a whole anywhere. Like if anything, he's going to have to go to NXT for a while.
You think so?
Yeah, that's an NXT right there. Got to get
Ted. Oh, sorry. Finish.
He's used to MLW.
Yeah.
Like he's used to GCW. No offense, MLW's production's nowhere near what WWE's production is.
Fair assessment.
Jacob's never been at that level where the Gorillas of Destiny in Japan have been at that level, have been at the top tier. Jacob, yeah, he's been at the top tier on the independent scene. Great. That's awesome. Make your living how you want to. I don't see Jacob Fatu coming into WWE and fitting in anywhere.
Ted, what about you and Jacob fitting into the bloodline story? How do you think a powerhouse like Jacob Fatu, with the runs he's had in MLW and on the Indies, how do you think he fits into the WWE system?
Well, like that's the thing. How much are they going to hold him back? Is he going to be able to do the things that he can do? And like you said, is he going to be polished enough? And then, like you said with Solo, I don't even read the reviews, to be honest with you, on the house shows. I don't even know nothing about them. I might read that there was a great crowd or when something viral happens. But, like I said, back in the day, when house shows were canon because championships were won and lost on house shows, and I know they're having the tournament. Part of those matches are there and there's some stuff, but I'm still trying to figure out how they're going to do. Cause like I said, the guys from Gorillas of Destiny, they look the part, they act the part, they've been there. So however they're going to try to work out this whole bloodline civil war, I am interested to see what they're going to do, but it is going to take some work to completely pull it off, in my opinion.
No, I agree. My last thing, in Ronda's new memoir, she said there was often tension backstage between Vince McMahon and Triple H during her 2022 run. Whenever Triple H made a change to the show, it would get taken to Vince and he would change it back. She also said that McMahon blamed John Laurinaitis when the hush money scandal broke.
I think Ronda is grasping for straws. I felt like we've talked about her way too much tonight, too. But I feel like she's grasping for straws at this point. She knows she's never going back to WWE, so anything close to a story, she's trying to find somebody that'll write it up for her.
Yeah.
For sure. Is that it?
That is it.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm excited about this conversation, guys. I'm curious to know about what you guys think about it. We're going to talk about our favorite B-list premium live events and pay-per-views. And what I mean by that is anything that's not one of the big four. So not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, or SummerSlam. I've got a list of questions to go through in regards to the B-list pay-per-views. I'm going to start with the easiest ones. What's your favorite B-list pay-per-view? If you had to pick one that wasn't a big four, what would your favorite WWE premium live event be that isn't a big four premium live event?
That would be 2001's Invasion.
That's a great pay-per-view.
Because I feel like that pay-per-view doesn't get the love that it deserves.
I'm gonna pick TLC 2.
That's a WrestleMania?
Well, I know it's not like a pay-per-view. I don't know. There's not like, I'm a sucker for a ladder match. So I guess Money in the Bank. But I want it to be like TLC style.
Well, there was the TLC pay-per-view.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I was just the way you worded it was real confusing at first.
Well,
AJ says Money in the Bank, Taboo Tuesday. Ted, you got one that comes to mind?
I guess I just go overall back in the day, and even now, I'm there's not quite as much I maybe, but I've always enjoyed the Elimination Chamber. I just have, because you get 6 guys who are vying at the top, and the winner, you get some kind of title shot, or sometimes the champ is in there. So I'm okay with the Elimination Chamber, and they've had some great ones throughout the years. So I'm just going to say Elimination Chamber.
All right, mine always going to pick the One Night Stand, specifically the 2005, the One Night Stand where it was they were in Hammerstein, and it was Paul cut that legendary promo on the SmackDown Superstars when they came in. So definitely going to go with that. AJ says In Your House. We talked about the best. Now I'm going to ask you guys, what was your least favorite? If you guys say, okay, there's one in the run that you could just do without and just give us a little bit more stretch to tell some stories, do a network special in its place, do something. What's one of the premium live events you would take off?
Crown Jewel.
Wow, you were quick to say that.
Any Saudi show.
Fair.
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules, just not a fan?
It's not. It's other than it being stupid ass stipulation matches. There's nothing extreme about it.
Mm-mm.
Ted?
I'm going to say this may not be popular because there has been some great matches, but I know you sort of give me a little cliff notes of some other stuff we're going to talk about, but I cannot stand Money in the Bank being its own pay-per-view. I want a Money in the Bank match at one of the big 4.
That right there is a fantastic segue, because my least favorite is always, and this isn't specifically this one, but you guys will understand this kind of pay-per-view when I say it, like your Fast Lane. Like, that always just seemed like a really just, a phone it in kind of pay-per-view. They never seem like they really hold water. They're always just kind of one-offs. Ty says it's already off, but I hated Hell in the Cell gimmick pay-per-view. Absolutely. That's the perfect segue, Ted. Let's just go ahead and let me ask you guys that question. Do the gimmick matches need their own shows? Do Money in the Bank need its own pay-per-view? Could it still be at WrestleMania? Could Elimination Chamber be a blow-off for something on any pay-per-view versus just having to use it in February? Is the TLC ladder match more specifically in its best when it was part of SummerSlam or part of WrestleMania? Do gimmick matches need their own show?
No.
No.
It's quick no from Al. Bo, you said no as well?
Yeah, because why do Elimination Chamber is a spectacle.
Yeah.
You give me 2 in the same night, and I understand you got to be fair. I understand that. But give me 2 in the same night, you kind of ruin the spectacle. You give me 3 and 4 Hell in a Cell matches. I don't know. I don't like the gimmick Hell in a Cell, TLC, and all that crap.
The build that I always go to a reference point is not always Taker and Mankind specifically. But the original Hell in a Cell, the building to the idea that they had to have something for Taker and Shawn that could be like the way to contain that much hate they had for each other, and the way they built it up, it meant something. We saw it referenced with Cactus Jack and Triple H in 2000, building up to their Hell in a Cell match after the street fight. Like, it was such a cool spectacle for them to drop versus you knowing, okay, this is the feud that's building in the early spring. This is going to be our Hell in a Cell match. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of lost the flair of it. I think with a 2-night Mania, you can realistically do Money in the Bank one per night, but I understand how essentially the unofficial Big Five now, so it probably won't change. I see them taking Money in the Bank. They went to London last year. It wouldn't surprise me if Money in the Bank this year is in Toronto. It wouldn't surprise me if that's another one of those shows that constantly get thrown overseas now.
Well, let's look at Backlash. Before it went to Puerto Rico and then, France, how great was Backlash?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Puerto Rico and France both this year have set the standard. They were both the best shows of the year, including the WrestleManias. And WrestleMania had double the crowd. Just the way they were received in those two respective countries was unreal good. All right. This is a very personal bias question now, though, okay? So we can all pretty much agree they don't need their own shows. What is your favorite gimmick match, though?
Hell in a Cell.
A Hell in a Cell match?
It's
I've been Twitter.
It's the end of ends. It's what this the blow off. Like you said a minute ago, it's the blow off. It's we can't contain them. It has to happen in Hell in a Cell. Don't give me a pay-per-view and call it premium live event. WWE's Hell in a Cell and give me 3 Hell in a Cell matches. Like,
right.
That just is 3 stages of hell. The triple layer cage match. That was cool. Al, what about you?
I mean, again, sucker for tables, ladders, and chairs. I don't know why. I think it's because, like, one of the first matches I watched was TLC 2. It's just so dope. But I do love a good street fight. Give me tasteful needed blood. Anytime.
Ultimate X is a sleeper pick, Mike. Great pick. Ted, what about you?
Yeah, give me anything in a cage. I'm old school, but I want a bouncy cage. I don't want the solid bars. I don't want that. I want something to bounce.
You want that? What was it? It was Halloween Havoc 91 with the electric chair in the middle of the ring.
No. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to see Abdul the Butcher electrocuted. I want to go back to Tommy Rich and Buzz Sawyer, where you could almost stand up on the turnbuckle and reach the top of the cage, and it was just some chain link fencing that they got from a hardware store down the road. That's what I want.
Says the original War Games in WCW, back when they had a top on the top of the cage. Back then, they had a roof. Yes. You remember the original one when I can't remember who it was. They went to powerbomb somebody, and he literally had to grab the roof of the cage because he was pretty much getting slammed into it because that's how low it was.
Yep.
My favorite gimmick match. I would probably say a ladder match. I am a sucker for a good cage match, though. 3 Stages of Hell, 2 out of 3 falls match was a different stipulation to clarify for AJ. Will, thank you. What's up, Just? Good to see you. Scout says he wants the 3-tiered cage back. That's what I was saying. When he said 3 Stages of Hell, that's what I immediately thought. Then I remembered the 3 matches in back-to-back-to-back. But the 3-tiered cage... Did you guys like that tie-in? We've never done an episode at Botched Spots and Share Shots on Ready to Rumble, which blows my mind. Do you guys like the tie-in when they tied the Hollywood into it and made it more than a gimmick match by having the 3 cages, but tying in the whole gimmick of it being in a movie? What'd you guys think of that? King of the Mountain, great.
I like the movie.
You liked Ready to Rumble? What'd you think about it, Ted?
Yeah, Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, hell yeah. Ty, I want to do a Ready to Rumble episode, and might be your Rivet City Radio debut then if you've got a rant for it. Boiler Room Brawl match, SummerSlam 96, one of my favorite matches. Mankind and Undertaker beat the hell out of each other. The infamous Paul Bearer turn, the betrayal learn when he smashes it on Undertaker's head. Oh, so many good options there. This is the loaded question. And I'm going to ask this one first before we go into the King of the Ring conversation that I have for you guys, because I think those two questions are going to tie in together. Is there an oversaturation in WWE and the premium live events? You look at somebody like AEW who does, they're in that 10 to 11 range, roughly. WWE does 12. Where do you guys think that sweet spot is for premium live events? And have we reached that point where it's oversaturation because we're getting a pay-per-view every single month now from somebody? TNA, AEW, WWE, pay-per-views every month, no matter what. Do you think there would be something from letting your stories breathe some?
Absolutely. I don't want any more than 6. 2 months per build. I hate all this. Every company. I didn't like it back when Eric Bischoff started it in WCW and all that other stuff. No, I do not like it. That's a hill I'll die on. 6 is the maximum.
That gives you 8 weeks to build each story, to build all of your pay-per-views and stuff. It gives you 7 weeks of TV with a go-home show to finalize it. Like, I think one every 2 months is good. And on the off months, do a network special. A Night of Champions or something. Do something that will draw views that isn't a premium live event. Bo, what do you think?
I'm on the 6 range because give me a little bit of build. I feel like it's short build, payoff, short build, payoff. I like maybe a little bit longer build and then a payoff. You already do so many, it's like these house show specials now, like the super shows and
the Madison Square Garden shits, right?
Yes, yeah. So just knock it down to 6.
I can agree with that. Al, do you think there's too many premium live events?
Yes. I think 6 or 8 would be a perfect number. Again, cut the fucking Saudi shows. I think Backlash is a waste of time. Like these little like mini pay-per-views after like the big shows, like Fastlane, and like get rid of that shit. Like Fastlane is terrible. Backlash is terrible. Like,
so we can all agree at some level there's just too much and oversaturation.
Instead of doing those, do more NXT pay-per-views.
More takeovers?
Yes.
I like that. I could get behind that.
That'd be cool.
Now, this got brought up earlier in the episode. I think somebody brought it up as a question back there. I think it was Circle of Debate. It was Dom. I remember now. The King and Queen of the Ring is right around the corner. It is both a premium live event that isn't one of the big 4, and it's a Saudi show. In the past, the King and Queens have always had this really elaborate gimmick change, and some of them have picked up ridiculous accents. Is the King and the Queen of the Ring needed? And do we think this year has to be that turning point? Because Baron Corbin is owed a title shot. Xavier Woods is owed a title shot. They never got him. Is this the year where WWE has to give the title shots to the winners to make this mean something?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If not, it's just another tournament for no reason.
King and Queen of the Ring winners should get a shot of at least a secondary title. I know the main roster women's don't have a secondary, so the Queen of the Ring can get a world title shot. But we all agree that you should get something from winning that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is a fun question that I thought of in lieu of King of the Queen of the Ring, right? Let's say they bomb it, and then they go, okay, we're going back to the drawing board, scratch it. What are we going to do in place of it? Okay.
Do they need something in place of it?
What would you guys think if WWE adapted a G1 style block tournament, but instead of doing it where it's like a pay-per-view and a big blowout, they use it in one of the lulls? So after Mania, or let's say between SummerSlam and Survivor Series, right? In lieu of doing the blow-off pay-per-view Fastlane, they build like a 2 or 3 month tournament with a series of network specials, and they involve everybody on their roster. NXT, SmackDown, Raw. It's this big spectacle event where they're doing block-style tournaments on all 3 shows, building to Survivor Series. You see what I mean? So these tournaments build so the best from each brand gets to go to Survivor Series. How would you guys feel about that? Almost like TNA did with their BFG series. Exactly.
I mean, it would
What's up,
still
Doug?
be King and Queen of the Ring, just with a different name.
Well, King and Queen of the Ring is a 3-round tournament than the finals. So I'm saying have a block style tournament where you have all of your roster together, you have them wrestle each other, then the winners of each brand go into a single elimination tournament. You see what I mean? And it's like, that's what it could build to. So Survivor Series becomes like the finals of that G1 style block tournament. Survivor Series happens. What was it? Deadly Games tournament, 1998, right? Have it something like that. Shake things up. How would y'all feel about something like that in WWE that would be off the beaten path from what they've done in the past?
I mean, I love it because we saw, even though there was only, 6, 8 wrestlers in each bracket, the Continental Classic in AEW, their Continental tournament did them some pretty decent ratings and had some little stories throughout the tournament and set up some other feuds and some different things like that. So I think that would be great for WWE to do, personally.
Al, you seem hesitant.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not a huge let's do a tournament. I don't know.
You don't like wrestling tournaments?
I feel like we know who's gonna be like the final 2 or 4, and it is a great opportunity for them to showcase like talent that they don't always use. But honestly, 80% of it is just a series of fucking squash matches.
I don't disagree. But this year at the G1, I sure as shit didn't see Naito coming through to win that. Me and Bo stayed up and watched it, and we were both shit surprised when we saw Naito get that 3 count at the end of that tournament, because we both thought he was going to lose in the finals.
Yeah, but that's New Japan, where they're used to freaking good tournaments. Tell me one good, solid tournament that WWE has produced.
Deadly Games 1998 Survivor Series, where they crowned The Rock the World Heavyweight Champion. Next, please. And they did it all in one pay-per-view, too, and it was awesome. The Rock beat Mankind in the finals. It was perfectly done. The Mae Young Classic, also a solid pick. The first Dusty Rhodes Invitational, where Ricochet and Malachi Black won it. The Dusty Rhodes Cup, also a fantastic. That was a Triple H tournament as well. Good news and bad news, guys. The good news is the episode's over, and the bad news is, well, I'll see everybody here in the next 24 hours with the exception of Ted. But Ted, I'm going to miss the shit out of you. Cruiserweight Classic tie, also another fantastic option. Boom. Lots of tournaments. But the part of the episode where I shut the hell up, everybody plugs themselves live on air. Ted, you're the distinguished guest of the night. Tell everybody to find you, what you got going on, and what's it feel like being the #1 podcast in Antarctica these days?
Well, I say, it is pretty good, and I'll just say Ted's Takes on Wrestling. You can find me on YouTube. Not on any social media because I just got off of it, and I'm much happier these days. But you can comment on those. You can hit me up at hilltruthpodcast@gmail.com. And that story I told at the beginning about the drunk tank, It might have been work. It might have been a shoot. Guess what? You'll have to watch every episode and see if I buzz in or come on as a guest to find out the truth. I'll let you know next time.
Bingo. Yeah, Ty, he did the thing for you. Bo, it's your turn.
Here every Sunday for Botched Spots and Chair Shots. Thursdays for Nerdy News at 4:20. Tuesdays on Off the Top Media for NXT on tap. Anywhere else you want to find me, follow me on Twitter, Jacksbo2020. Hit the link tree.
Al.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at JustAGirl918. I have a new epiphany for the comic. So be on the lookout soon. It is going to feature my Paul Heyman figure and my Solo Sikoa figure. So be on the lookout.
That's exciting. I'm going to make this short and sweet and to the point. I'm bringing back my shout outs. Shout out Wrestle Bros. That's Dirt Sheet Dan Bakley's new operation. Shout out MATT and Cody Cornett over on TikTok. Creation World. That's my boy MATTRIDDER Matt Ritter. Follow the Wolfpack Podcast and Boyfriend Time on Twitch. Follow Chrissy, Tina, and Pat, and BC, and Richie, and my homies on TikTok and their operation. Fantastic. Follow my boy Tim Farmer. He does debates nightly on TikTok. They're fire. Follow all my friends. Then remember to follow us anywhere you do anything on the internet. Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio. You have all the options. Below you, in your description, you have a link to Discord. That is a direct link to all the hosts and producers and everything for Rivet City Radio and Off the Top Media. Make sure you follow Off the Top as well. Make sure you check that link right below it. That is your Off the Top Media and Botched Spots and Chair Shots merch link. That'll give you a direct link to all of your t-shirts and stuff, the underwear with Bo's face, whatever you need. Most importantly, though, are those Amazon Prime subscriptions. With your Prime subscription, you get a Prime Gaming subscription. Go to your computer, give it to us here on Twitch, give it to us or Creation World or Wolfpack or Boyfriend Time or She Elite or any of my friends. Give it to everybody. You can also subscribe on patreon.com/Rivet City Radio. Ted, Al, Bo. That's it. Anything for the class?
Nope. Bye, Ted.
Bye, Ted. But
Something happened.
I don't know, Ted, but welcome back right at the end. You get to hear me talk real fast. Subscribe to subscribe to some bitches, Will. I got in a lot of trouble for doing that in my youth. I'm done doing that kind of stuff. But now as we close another episode of Botched Spots and Chair Shots, I'll take a minute. Thank you for listening. I remind you to go wherever you do anything on the internet. Like, follow, subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again. Leave a comment telling me that fucking Ted is just amazing and we miss him terribly. And that I'm glad Bo's back. Going back to Nerdy News with me, I'm really excited about that. Tell us how great we are. Either way, it helps the algorithm and it helps find new listeners. If you're feeling really generous and be one of the VIP people, head to patreon.com and donate to the Rivet City Radio Podcast Network. You get some fantastic swag. We get some fantastic guests. It's a win-win. I struggled through that one. Damn. For everybody's favorite Ginger Ninja Jacksbo, for Ted the Hillbilly Hill, and for the Boss Bitch Al, I am the Will Gray. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.
Ta-ta.